Hi guys, it's Jacob from StringBuzz here, stringbuzzworld.org being the music journalism site, links are in the description down below. And we have a brand new song review for you today, and it's the latest track by HAIM, and that's Right Now, so I'm going to refer to the original article as I usually do for these videos, so I hope you enjoy. Now, after finding the last HAIM outing surprisingly impressive, I went into this track with huge anticipation really, huge excitement as well. Although they aren't a group who I've distinctly followed in the past, each time I listen to one of their tracks I do wonder to myself why I'm not following them more closely as artists. Now, there is a lot of competition around at the moment, as you could probably tell by my last few reviews anyway. We've basically had probably the most stellar month in regards to pop music and pop related music that I've had ever since starting this sort of review sort of thing up with StringBuzz the website and StringBuzz the YouTube channel. So should we see whether this track really sinks or floats next to all of this competition? Well, I thought it was excellent, and I can totally see why so many reviewers right now are raving about this track. It's exploratory, it's experimental, it's very expressive actually as well. There are huge moments and significant moments scattered along its runtime, making it basically exciting for its entire runtime, and it's probably the best track the group have produced yet, in my opinion anyway. There is a huge transition as well during this track around the halfway moment where we get these massive, slightly distorted actually, instrumentals, and just smashes you over the head with this very anthemic sound, a great sound in my opinion. I can only imagine how good this must sound live, and I can see so many people talking about it at the moment. And whilst we're on that subject, I've seen a lot of people denouncing it in the comments section for not being as gritty as the live version, or as performed in the same way as the live version, but that's basically always the case if you've ever come across a studio recording in your entire life. When it comes to live music, of course it's going to be grittier, because if you try to make this mix in particular any grittier than it actually is, you'd probably lose control of the instrumentals and it would sound a bit haphazardy really. For me, it's an absolutely stellar single, and it's yet another good outing by these three immensely talented girls. Production-wise, the song really is gritty. I have no idea what anybody else is on about that it's not gritty, and very organic and dry too. Although we start off with these little electronic, percussive type phrases and sequences, the track flows really well throughout that, and then it runs into this big transition, and then bang, you have this thick sound wall of distorted, slightly distorted, organic instrumentation. As I keep reiterating in a lot of these videos, usually I'm not a big fan of organic instrumentation being used, or rather placed next to electronic instrumentation in separate sections, rather than them actually, colluding very well. But it works really well to add another dimension into this track, and it had to happen, and I'm glad it did happen. The distorted guitars in particular are thick and bolstered, driving the mid-ground really well. The bass is also really thick with depth and wholesomeness behind it, filling the low ground really, really well. And I actually enjoyed the pretty roomy, reverb-infused vocals, as it basically added to this live feeling which the track really gave off. And I can understand why so many people are comparing it now, because when it does come to the production, it has been made to sound like a live recording, I guess. If I wanted to be critical about anything in particular, I'd say perhaps the strings in certain sections are a little too bassy for me and do create this sort of wobbly feedback. I'm not talking about the generated feedback which is in the song purposefully. I mean just a sort of bassy sort of reverb coming off of those strings, which is a little bit difficult to ignore for me, but that's just my only complaint when it comes to this mix in particular. So it's one of the strongest production cycles we've had this month. When it comes to the musicality of this track, I must admit I'm a little bit surprised that they were so progressive this time around, and it was a welcome surprise as well. Not only are the vocal melodies a lot less constrained, but the vocal performance in general just seems incredibly adventurous and wild in comparison to their previous few outings, which I also enjoyed regardless. When you pair that with this ever-flowing backing track, then you basically have the perfect mix. I love the time signatures, the tom/crash beats sort of introduced towards the end or the final segment of this track. I love the huge transition and the accompaniment progressions alongside the vocals. I love the sampled noises and little backing extras which they added, like that sort of purposeful feedback which was brought on by the distorted guitar. I like that sort of little touch. I thought the texture was gloriously unique, and I could probably go on and on about this track and how much I enjoyed it. It's just really inventive, really imaginative, incorporating so many influences from experimental music like Nordic Giants I could even compare to this, to more electronically driven music like even people like Depeche Mode I can compare to this. It's just image-inducing, fun, technical, and just really well written, and I'm incredibly impressed. Lyrically, I will say that the themes in this track are probably the safest aspect for me, and it's not like they were bad or even average or anything like that. They were still good. I just didn't connect with them personally, and I think that might be down to me finding the instrumentation in particular so compelling, and the vocal performance in general I think was stronger than the lyrics that were given. So all in all, it's yet another must-listen track by HAIM, and I'm so impressed that I'm practically lost for words when talking about the song. So I gave it a G rating of 9 out of 10, which is this close to my perfect rating. With that sort of feedback issue off the strings, I guess I had to dock it a single point. But if you like this video, then please leave a like, comment what you think in the comment section down below, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you around next time. Bye-bye.